Hello! Today I'll be talking about Poliwrath, one of the final evolutions of Poliwag, who evolves into Poliwhirl, who evolves into Poliwrath when given a Water Stone. It's also the first water fighting type Pokemon. Its past PYC dates are April 28th, 1996, February 17th, 1999, December 8th, 2001, September 28th, 2004, July 20th, 2007, May 10th, 2010, February 28th, 2013, December 20th, 2015, October 10th, 2018, and July 31st, 2021. As I've mentioned over the last 2 days, I'm a fan of the swirl. It's a unique identifier for the Poliwag line. Let's get into the Bulbapedia article. I should warn you though, I still have the long hair and most of that section. Hello and welcome to the Bulbapedia section of the video. Today we'll be talking about Poliwrath, the tadpole Pokemon, whose number is 0062. So this is what it looks like. Its type is water fighting, so you can see the water inside with the fighting outline. Abilities: Water Absorb or Damp. Swift Swim is its hidden ability. Gender ratio is 50-50. Catch rate is 45 or 11.9%. Breeding is Egg Group Water 1. Hatch time is 20 cycles. Height is 4'3" or 1.3 meters. Weight is 119 pounds or 54 kilograms. Base experience yield 185 in the first 4 gens and 230 in 5+. Leveling rate, medium slow. EV yield, 3, all in defense. Shape is that, footprint is that. Pokedex color is blue, and base friendship is 70. Poliwrath is a dual-type water-fighting Pokemon introduced in Gen 1. It evolves from Poliwhirl when exposed to a Water Stone. It is one of Poliwag's final forms, the other being Politoed. Biology: Poliwrath is a blue bipedal amphibian Pokemon with a round body and muscular arms. It has bulbous eyes that protrude from the top of its head, and its belly is covered by a white and black swirl. There appear to be white gloves on its hands, and it has rounded, digitless feet. Poliwrath's body is almost entirely muscle, and the muscles in its arms and legs never tire. It also has 0% body fat. When it swims, it uses all of the muscles in its body and is able to swim vast distances with minimal breathing. It is even capable of briefly running on the water's surface. It can also smash through ice and plow forward using its strong arms. Poliwrath is capable of outswimming even world-class swimmers. Poliwrath is also skilled at martial arts. It can launch powerful square punches capable of crushing boulders into dust. Many children learn how to swim by replicating Poliwrath's movements. It is one of the most gifted swimmers of all water-type Pokemon. Being the result of an evolution via Evolution Stone, Poliwrath is rarely found in the wild. When found, it is usually seen living on dry land near the water's edge, despite it being an excellent swimmer. In Alola, Poliwrath found are strong enough to use the breaststroke while swimming. Evolution: Poliwrath evolves from Poliwhirl and is one of the final forms of Poliwag, the other being Politoed. So we can see here Poliwag, Poliwhirl, Poliwrath. Game data: Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, 3 Poliwrath, along with a Poliwag, appear as the boss of Poliwrath River. Pokedex entries: in Gen 1, in Red and Blue, an adept swimmer at both the front crawl and breaststroke. Easily overtakes the best human swimmers. Yellow swims powerfully using all the muscles in its body. It can even overtake champion swimmers. Stadium: a strong swimmer, it is faster than a human champ in an individual medley. It can go far and fast with minimal breathing. In Gen 2, Gold, this strong and skilled swimmer is even capable of crossing the Pacific Ocean just by kicking. Silver: although an energetic skilled swimmer that uses all of its muscles, it lives on dry land. Crystal: it can use its well-developed arms and legs to run on the surface of the water for a split second. Stadium 2 is just golds again. Gen 3 and Ruby and Sapphire. Poliwrath's highly developed brawny muscles never grow fatigue, however much it exercises. It is so tirelessly strong, this Pokemon can swim back and forth across the Pacific Ocean without effort. Emerald: its highly developed muscles never grow fatigued, however much it exercises. This Pokemon can swim back and forth across the Pacific Ocean without effort. Fire Red: an adept swimmer, it knows the front crawl, butterfly, and more. It is faster than the best human swimmers. Leaf Green is similar to Red and Blues, but slightly different, so I'll read it. A swimmer adept at both the front crawl and breaststroke. Easily overtakes the best human swimmers. In Gen 4, in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, with its extremely tough muscles, it can keep swimming in the Pacific Ocean without resting. Heart Gold and Soul Silver are their Gold and Silver counterparts. The Gen 5 Pokedexes are Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. In Gen 6, X is also that entry. Y is Leaf Green's entry. So Mega Ruby removes Pacific Ocean.
So we'll read it. Poliwrath's highly developed body muscles never grow fatigued, however much it exercises. It is so tirelessly strong, the Pokemon can swim back and forth across the ocean without effort. In Gen 7, in Sun, Poliwrath and the Alola region are strong swimmers that use the breaststroke. Many children learn to swim by imitating Poliwrath. Moon. Its percentage of body fat is nearly 0. Its body is entirely muscle, which makes it heavy and forces its swimming prowess to develop. Ultra Sun. It's quite a gifted swimmer, even among water-type Pokemon, but it normally spends its time on land. Ultra Moon. The muscles it has developed through swimming are thick and powerful. When it lands a square punch, it can turn huge boulders to dust. The Let's Go games are similar to Yellow's, but slightly different, so I'll read it. Swims powerfully using all the muscles in its body. It can even overtake world-class swimmers. In Gen 8, in Sword, its body is solid muscle when swimming through cold seas. Poliwrath uses its impressive arms to smash through drift ice and plow forward. In Shield, Poliwrath is skilled at both swimming and martial arts. It uses its well-trained arms to dish out powerful punches. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is their Diamond and Pearl counterpart. What's particularly interesting is that it kept the Pacific Ocean part when removing it in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. They probably just copied and pasted it without thinking, but that's pretty interesting. In Gen 9, in Scarlet, although it's skilled in a style of dynamic swimming that uses all its muscles, for some reason it lives on dry land. Violet, that one is Crystal's entry. Poliwrath in the Alola Pokedex, Poliwrath in the Kitakami Pokedex. So, a bunch of Poliwrath looking all tough, maybe practicing their punches on a rock here. It's particularly interesting, it's raining. This is interesting because it was also probably raining in the Poliwag image. So that's a cool connection there. Game locations, inside game locations, held items. Pokemon caught in Gen 1 must be traded to a Gen 2 game in order for a held item to appear. In Pokemon Emerald, Poliwrath can be found in the Battle Frontier. Oh, that's so mean. Okay. In Red, Blue, and Yellow, you get a berry 100% of the time. In Emerald, Black, White 2, White 2, X, Y, Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon, you get a King's Rock 5% of the time. Which is kind of mean. I guess it's not entirely mean. I think you can move items. You could potentially give this to a Poliwhirl, but it's still kind of mean to give it to the thing that doesn't actually evolve with it. You know, a Sword and Shield, you get a King's Rock expansion pass. Required 5% of the time. Stats, base stats, we'll compare Gen 1 through 5 to 6 onward. So 90 HP, stays the same. Attack 85, that went up to 95. Defense 95, that stays the same. Special attack 70, that stays the same. Special defense 90, that stays the same. Speed 70, that stays the same. So for a total of 500, and then a total of 510. In the Gen 1 through 5 box here, this Pokemon's special base stat in Gen 1 was 70. Pokethon stats. Type effectiveness, damage normally by normal, fighting, poison, ground, ghost, dragon. Weak 2, flying, grass, electric, psychic, and fairy for double. Immune to nothing, resistant to rock, bug, steel, fire, water, ice, and dark for half. Notes, if this Pokemon has water absorb, the effectiveness of water-type moves is 0, so it goes from half to 0. For a learn set, by leveling up, because you could hypothetically have a level 25 one, we would normally do that, but it doesn't look like that's going to be featured here. So, from the move reminder, we get Pound, Double Edge, Water Gun, Hydro Pump, Bully Drum, Rain Dance, Mud Shot, Earth Power, Circle Throw, and upon evolution you get Dynamic Punch. Skipping by TM, skipping by breeding, nothing by prior evolution, side game data, Pokemon Ranger in the browser entry. Poliwrath blasts surging jets of water with tremendous force. This. Pollution data, so level 25, Waterstone, yeah. Sprites, so it's also black. It's very interesting, very like superhero pose here almost. Not quite to the size, but you know, very buff, very big, you know. That one's sort of maybe more like a fighting pose a little bit. You know, like karate moves, you know, kind of look to it. That one looks like it's actively fighting. You know, its eyes are more of a slit like this. They become a little bit rounder. These next two, you know, starts off as black and white and a little bit of blue, mostly blue. Its hands, that's an interesting shape. I don't know if I've ever actually seen its hands not clenched in a fist. It would be interesting. I don't know why that wasn't featured at some point in the... I mean, it probably was featured at some point in the anime, but... Gold is a little darker and this sort of green-blue, just like it is for the other two. Oh yeah, and the back sprite doesn't work for this one. I'm not sure it really even works for this one because of the eyes, but kinda, you could argue. Then, yeah, the eyes get, you know, more... So again, these are more like frog-like eyes, where they're... And these are just... kind of in the thing. I guess they're still kind of frog-like. They're definitely more frog-like than Poliwhirl's was, but, you know. So then we get kind of back to the slit eyes again. That's interesting. I kind of keep that a little bit. It maybe takes a slightly more inspiration from yellow. So again, we get the correct shade of blue here, and then now it's just green. And it's a different shade of blue for this one as well. Yep. And then that's this darker blue is, I think, more accurate than the sort of lighter blue. So it becomes slightly darker green, I think. Yep. Got all that. Yeah, it really just kind of keeps the slit eyes, huh? So then it's sort of a, like, pure blue now, I think. Kind of keeps that blue a little bit, maybe a little lighter something. And it actually goes back to the models go back to the other eye. It goes back to the yellow eyes. That's interesting. I guess they liked those better than the slit eyes. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, the spiral, that probably changed its shape a few times. Yeah, the spiral is actually all different than these, and then I think it kind of stays consistent. Maybe slightly curled a little bit more, but it more or less stays pretty consistent, at least the amount. This one's a lot more. This one's definitely more like the originals. It's pretty cool. Yep. Let's go games. Yep. It's very interesting. Okay. In the anime, Poliwrath in the anime. This Pokedex entry here, episode 105 in Ash's Pokedex. Poliwrath, the tadpole Pokemon. Poliwrath is an excellent swimmer, and its powerful muscles make its attacks extremely effective. This, and the manga, Poliwrath and Pokemon Adventures, get to see very just pure muscle here. Yeah, not really a lot of thickness. In the TCG trivia, in Generation 2 and Heart Gold and Soul Silver, a man in Celadon City with a Poliwrath says that he hopes that it will evolve into a frog Pokemon one day, although the Pokemon he was thinking of is most likely Politoed. It is too late, as it is Poliwhirl, not Poliwrath, that evolves into Politoed when traded while holding a King's Rock. Poor man. An early design of Poliwrath revealed on Game Freak's official Japanese website circa 1997 depicts it wearing a crown similar to the King's Rock, which is necessary to evolve Poliwhirl into Politoed. So you can see that here. We did this one in the Poliwag video. In some illustrations, Poliwrath is depicted with 4 fingers instead of 3. Prior to Gen 6, Poliwrath and its evolutionary counterpart, Politoed, shared the same base stats. This changed in Generation 6 when Poliwrath received a 10-point increase in its attack, but Politoed did not receive a stat increase. It shares this counterpart difference with Beautifly. Origin, Poliwrath may be based on a tadpole and a frog. The spiral pattern on its belly is supposed to represent how the organs of tadpoles can sometimes be seen through their transparent skin. It may also be based on amphibian neoteny, as it stays in tadpole form and does not metamorphosize to a frog. Its brawny body and newfound fighting type, and thus boxing gloves, could be an interpretation of the frog's bulky bodies and vastly heightened muscle mass and strength in comparison to the infant tadpole. Name origin. Poliwrath may be a combination of Poliwag, an outdated term for tadpole, and Wrath. Neorobon may be a combination of Neoro, onomatopoeia for wriggling, and Bon, boy. Wriggling boy. Okay, now the languages, related articles, external links. Yeah, let's move on.
Now let's watch Poliwrath's first scene in the anime.
Hello and welcome to the anime portion of the video. Today we are watching episode 29, The Punchy Pokemon. In this episode, Ash Ketchum, the main character, is helping a young woman named Rebecca in a fighting competition to get her dad back. He's also in the competition. She has assigned him to defeat him with the hopes that he would come back to his family, as he's so focused on this competition. Or Anthony, her father. Anyway, yes. So we'll see one real quick fighting a Machamp, I think. Poliwrath. Poliwrath. Yeah. Okay. And then we got. Okay, so that was just a montage of different battles, and yeah. So we'll move on.
Now let's see why people love Poliwrath. Now let's look at fan art.
Hello and welcome to the fan art section of the video. Nobody sent in fan art, so instead we are looking at DeviantArt fan art. For those of you who don't know how this works, what we do is we go through these images until we find an image that doesn't contain a Poliwrath. So the first one here is 060 through 062 Poliwrath line by In Progress Pokémon. So we looked at this one in the Poliwag video, but if you didn't watch that, or I should explain. So In Progress Pokémon, what they do is they make in-betweens for each of these, so as if it were like the Pokemon growing up instead of metamorphizing like they do in the games. So, got this sort of in-between here. The legs are more developed, the tail is starting to go away, the spiral is doing that, the eyes going up, the nose is developing, and the mouth is disappearing, and the arms are developing. Then we've got, so that's the Poly world. Then we've got between them, we got this guy here. Its eyes are going up a little bit more. The nose is curving up a little bit more. Spiral is slightly changing. The hands, the fists are turning into actual fingers, and the feet are flattening out more. And then of course we got Poliwrath. Then we've got 062 Poliwrath by Kutsuku. It's this cool stylized Poliwrath here. They're in a angry pose, I guess, or something. Tough pose. It's very slightly stylized. It's very nice. Very nice use of colors and stuff. So, yeah, this is not a Poliwrath, so we'll move on.
Thanks to everyone who submitted fan art. I won't be streaming tonight as I need to wait until I've talked about Snorlax until I can evolve Poliwhirl into Poliwrath. Tomorrow I'll be talking about Abra. As always, this isn't my proper outfit, and you'll see me tomorrow.